Hey everyone, Stone here at Nintendo Life, and today we are going over System Update version 20. It just released for the Nintendo Switch, and it adds a bunch of new features. Some new features that were actually revealed in the Nintendo Direct in March, I think it was? Yeah, March. We have added virtual game cards, and it has also added the button for Gameshare and a couple other neat little knickknacks and features. So I'm at the table. I've got my Switch set up here with a camera, so we can go over all the new features and I can show you everything that there is to know about System Update 20 for the Nintendo Switch system. Let's get started. All right, everyone, this is the hands down preview of what the unboxing desk looks like. I hope you enjoy. This is the zoomed in. We also have a more zoomed out like this. You can see my Switch over here. But this is the more zoomed out, and then we have a more zoomed in perspective. So let's go ahead. Let's get started and let's check out System Update 20. So let's go ahead and zoom into the Switch here. And I thought about, should I use my capture card or should I just use my hands? And I thought it'd be better to just like have the Switch here and show it instead of using my capture card, because I just feel like it'd be a lot better. So there are a lot of new features in Update 20. You can see we have a giant row of buttons down here and it looks great. So first off, I'm going to go to my album and I'm going to show you guys my rapid screenshots of Sidon, but this is what it looks like previously. This is system version 19 is when I took the screenshot right before I updated, and this is what it's looked like for quite a while now. We didn't have the Switch Online button originally, but this is what it's looked like for quite a while now, and now we have all of these new buttons. So what are all of these new buttons? So of course we have sleep mode to shut the console off. Of course we have settings. This one's new. We have virtual game cards. We'll check that out in a second. We have controllers for your controller menu. This is also a new button. Gameshare, that's also here. We have the album. The Nintendo eShop has been rebranded from orange to red, and the news app is from I think it was orange to green. What color is the news app? Let's check here. I can't quite remember. Let's go back to my album here. Let's see. No, it was red. Okay, so the news app went from red to green. So these are all of the new buttons, and we're going to check out all of them. So first off, we are going to check out virtual game cards. When you click virtual game cards, it will ask who is using virtual game cards. So we'll just open up my virtual game cards here, and we can see these are all of my virtual game cards: Jamboree, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 3, and you can see when it's like sideways like this. So Among Us, Tears of the Kingdom, and Jamboree do not have DLC. I don't have them installed on my Switch here, so you can see it looks like a virtual game card. But if there is DLC, it will do it sideways like this to let you know that there is DLC on the game, which is, I think, is really neat. But let's go ahead and look at Tears of the Kingdom. Let's tap on it. There is a load on system button, but it's already loaded, so we can't click that. We can hit load on other systems. So if I had a second Nintendo Switch, I could send it off, but I don't have a second Switch. We can lend it to a family member, and then there's an options where we could view the details of the game. So you can see it is Tears of the Kingdom, and it's currently loaded into my Switch. If we also go to the options, we can hit eject from system and we can hide it. So if we hit eject, we hit OK, it will play a little animation, and bam, it has now been ejected, and I cannot play Tears of the Kingdom. You can see the little icon is not lit up, and I have to click it, and you'll see it will say, to play this game, you first need to load the virtual game card. So we'll hit load, and we'll click Tears of the Kingdom. I click it, it'll give us the animation of it loading in. Bam. And there we go, virtual game card. Now we can play it, you see who's using the software, and it will ask me who's playing. So I think this is a very neat feature. I want to try out, though, I want to try sending a game to my sister. So right here we have, that's a little too wide. We have my sister's Nintendo Switch right here, and we're going to power this on. And we're going to try sending a game to my sister's Switch. So you can see here is my sister's Switch. Let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. There we are. Okay, so we have my sister's Switch here. We have my Switch here. I want to send my sister Tears of the Kingdom. So we're going to hit lend to family group member. You see, you can lend virtual game cards out to members of the family group your Nintendo account is in for up to 14 days at a time. We can hit view details and it'll tell you some more details about it. but we're going to select a user to lend to, and we are lending it to my sister. So we're going to hit lend, and it's going to say on the other system, open the home menu and select virtual game cards and bring the systems close to one another. So we're going to open virtual game cards on here and go to my sister's profile and just let it load for a second. This is the first time I'm opening the virtual game cards page on here, so you can see your virtual game cards on the screen. Purchase downloadable games will appear here. We'll just hit next. Select virtual game cards to load on the system. Once loaded, the game's icon will be added to the home menu and you'll be able to play it. Great. So we can see all of her virtual game cards. And you can see right here, it's instantly borrow virtual game card. Move the systems near one of another. Tears of the Kingdom. We'll hit borrow. And it will send the virtual game card from my Switch to my sister's. Just like that. So now I can no longer play Tears of the Kingdom on my Switch. My sister has my copy of Tears of the Kingdom. You borrowed this virtual game card. You can play as soon as the download is ready. Okay. You lent this virtual game card out. We'll just hit OK. You can see on here, it's going to download the game. But there's not enough space on my sister's Switch, so she cannot download it. You can see over here, we can hit options, and we could view the details, and we can see it is currently lent out by my sister. And if we want it back, we can hit collect, and we can hit collect, and it will just steal it back from her. So if we feel a little bit mischievous, we can steal it back. Load on this system. And now I have stolen Tears of the Kingdom back from her, and she no longer has it. We'll try lending another game card out to her, so we'll go into virtual game cards, and we'll hit me. Let's say I want to send... I want to send... Splatoon 3. We're going to lend a family group member. We're going to lend it to my sister. We'll hit lend. Open up virtual game cards on my sister's Switch. And it will say, would you like to borrow this game card? We'll hit borrow. And it will send out the two. That is so cool. That is actually awesome. You've borrowed this game card. And she probably doesn't have enough storage to download it. Oh, no, she does. Wow. Nope. Okay, never mind. She doesn't. We're just going to steal this back. Steal this card back, and we're going to put it on my Switch. Just like that. All right, wonderful. So we're going to power this off and move it out of the way. We're going to move my Switch back into frame here. So that is our first new feature. That is our first major new feature, is the virtual game cards. And I think it is a very, very cool feature. I just wish it would open up support to be able to lend games to anyone. You just put in like their friend code. Like if they're friended with you, you can lend it out to anyone. I'm hoping that'll come out in a future update, because being able to only lend it to your family group members is kind of annoying. But yeah, that is virtual game cards. That's one of the new features. The second new feature is Gameshare. We'll hit open Gameshare, and we'll say I'm using Gameshare. Now, for some reason, only the Nintendo Switch 2 can host a Gameshare. So when I seen Gameshare on the home menu for the first time, I was really excited because I thought it was going to be a Switch 2 exclusive feature and only Switch 2s could Gameshare with each other. But that is not sort of the case. If you have a Switch 1 and the game is supported on both Switch 2 and Switch 1, the Switch 2 user can host that game and Gameshare it to a Switch 1 user. So Switch 2s have to be the host of a Gameshare session. Original Switch 1s cannot Gameshare. So I cannot Gameshare from my Switch to my sister's Switch, which I think is slightly annoying and kind of weird, but we can hit About Gameshare, and you can see nearby Nintendo Switch 2 systems will work together. But yeah, you can't Gameshare a Switch with a Switch 1 to another Switch 1. You can't do that. It has to be a Switch 2 to a Switch 2 or a Switch 2 to a Switch 1, which is, I think, slightly annoying, and I don't know why, but that's Gameshare. Next up, we have the eShop's rebrand. The icon is red now, and the opening screen is different. It is now red instead of orange. And the sidebar here is also red now. And I would think that it would be a little less laggy, but no, it is still just as laggy. I don't know why I thought it'd be less laggy, but it is still just as laggy as before. Next up, the news app is green, but that's it. There's nothing all that different. You can see we can open up the patch notes for this update. We could just read through game cards, game share, all sorts of stuff. Our next new thing in this update is if we go to system settings, there is a new setting. If we scroll all the way down to system, there is a new setting in here, I think. Is it in here or is it somewhere else? Nope, it's right here. System transfer to Nintendo Switch 2. I thought this would come out at a later date, but no, it's already here. So there's a new option called System Transfer to Switch 2, and if we click this, we get this screen. This system's data will be transferred to a Nintendo Switch 2 system. So we can hit About System Transfers, use System Transfer to move data from this system to a Switch 2. We'll hit Next. Some data can't be transferred to the Switch 2, but not all. Transferable data. All users, all save data, screenshots and videos, system settings, but the news cannot be transferred, which is kind of weird. There's a QR code if you want to scan that for more information, but I'll probably make a video on it sometime soon. Let's just hit Next and see what happens. I'd like to know. It's compatibility. This QR code tells about compatibility issues with Switch 1 games with the Switch 2, which it was confirmed all Switch games, original Switch games, like at least the first party titles, will work with the Switch 2, except for Nintendo Lab. Those ones won't work, but I don't think anyone's gonna be too mad about that. We'll hit OK. And there are two options. There is make sure your Switch 2 is nearby, there's a done, and there is a I don't have a Switch 2 yet. That's kind of a funny option. We're gonna hit done first, and I think it's probably gonna try to find a Switch 2 to transfer to. At least one user has an exclamation point, so that's just because I have to resolve something. So we'll just hit continue with system transfer, and we'll see what happens. Gives you some FAQ, tells you who's not linked to a Nintendo account. Save data for the following software will be removed from the system and transferred to the Switch 2, and it shows you all the games that it's going to transfer. We'll hit next, and it asks to plug in the AC adapter, which we won't do because we don't want it to actually transfer anything. Next, if you hit I don't have a Switch 2, it's going to wonder why you even opened this page, probably. And continue. Okay, hold on. Okay. First, data on this system will be uploaded to the server. Uploaded data is stored on the server, so once data has been uploaded, you will not need to keep this system. If you get a Switch 2, you can use it to download your data from the server. There is a deadline for downloading the data stored on the server. Download your data to a Switch 2 before the deadline. 4/29/2026, so I think, yeah, that's a year. I have exactly a year to download my data. If you plan on using this system, stop here. Once it is uploaded to the server, this system will be initialized. Okay, so basically that's really cool. If we just go back a little bit, so if you tell it, if you hit the Switch 2 transfer option, if you actually have your Switch 2 with you right now, which no one does, it's not even out yet, you can transfer your data from your Switch or your Switch OLED or your Switch Lite to your Switch 2, and then it's all good and dandy. But if you do not have a Switch 2 yet, and you don't really plan on playing your Switch while you wait, which I think most people honestly are, you can actually take all of your save data that is currently on your Nintendo Switch or OLED or whatever. You can take all of your saved data and you can upload it to the cloud, so that way when you do get a Switch 2, you don't have to have your original Switch nearby to download your data, which I think I didn't even know about that. That's really, really, really cool. But doing this will factory reset your original Switch. So if you plan on uploading your data to the cloud, you will not be able to play your original Switch anymore with your save data. You still will be able to play it after your factory resets, but not with your save data. So just keep that in mind. That is everything new in this system update that I am aware of. If I missed anything, tell me in the comments down below. But I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.